pushes directly on the inner ring. So. Today I want to explain why it is important to not use too hard clutch springs. Always use the softest possible clutch springs. Look, if you press the clutch, you pull this lever. The cable comes from here, from the frame, and you pull this lever and you push onto the clutch. You push it towards the bearing, towards the flywheel side. You will know these two parts. This is in the clutch, and you push with this lever, this little thingy, onto the clutch and towards the bearing, towards the flywheel side. Welcome back in my workshop. The funny sound you hear is a fan. It's pretty dusty because it's gonna die soon. It's one of the hottest days in Austria today. We have 38 degrees, that's a lot, here in Vienna. It stays that warm overnight. Welcome to part 2 of the clutch spring kills big crankshaft bearing. I want to show you the same with COSA style clutch, COSA 2 it's named, because the tuning clutches, especially the super strong from a big shop, is very common. So let's just check it once more how a COSA clutch is working. It is pretty much the same. So, and I'm missing a big plate. Here it is. The setting is clutch stump. You put the plate on the stump, and then there is the inner part, and with the COSA clutch it is even more obvious and visible that the springs are directly pushing on to the bearing. That was a bit too fast. Let's take it out once more. I want to show it first. The bearing in my hand. If we get it out, we do get it out. We have a bearing. There is thick clutch plate. You see it is on the inner ring, and then there's the inner part. There's no light. Bearing, thick plate, and the inner part of the COSA clutch, and it pushes directly on the inner ring. And this is why the tolerances of the bearing get really big quite fast, because you always push like this in this direction onto the bearing, on the inner bearing ring. Let's mount it again. Come on. Taking a video here. There we go. That's how it looks. If you lift the engine case, you see. The thick plate, inner ring, outer ring, it pushes directly onto this bearing. And if you use the hard springs, they deliver with your tuning clutch. The big bearing wheel dies in because they are way too hard. It is just not needed. It is understandable by the producers, by the dealers, to just take the safe side, take harder springs that are needed, because it would not be a good review if the clutch, the super tuning clutch, the best clutch, is slippery because the springs are too weak. And now we see the basket here. This one is just with 8 rivets, and the ring, it's old. The edges here are all damaged with the dead one laying around. We see here that instead of 8 more rivets between the existing original rivets, there were welding points set to connect the inner part, this one, the thingy here, with the basket. And you need to know that this material is hardened, and it is really hard. You need a special drill to be able to get a hole in this hardened part, and that's where the springs are sitting on the rivets. The springs will now fall in, but to show you how get beat that. This is the inner part, and the clutch sits like this. You know this view? There's the plate. Oops. Push plate and the push rod. And we have the clutch. There's the clutch lid. There's the lever. The lever is pulled by the clutch cable, and you see this small lever here. This is where the push rod sits. This is how the clutch is pushed towards the bearing. So the harder the springs are, the earlier your bearing will die. The tolerance will get bigger and bigger. And with this push rod, oops, you push this plate and the whole basket like this. That's the position when it's separated. That is the position where it has grip. So directly onto the inner bearing cage. Just to show you where the springs are sitting. As at the COSA clutch, the springs are nearer to the center, like here. It's more understandable that it influences the life, how long the big clutch bearing lives. That's nearly artistic, isn't it? That's where the clutch springs are sitting. Very sprocket. Inner part, this ring is missing. Second. Good Austrian beer. German for beer. So it's on the plate. Inner part. Sprocket. Sprocket has to be lower than the inner part, otherwise the clutch will not work. That is what you test with the separation test. And it sits on the crankshaft like this. The sprocket connects the clutch that sits here with the primary, and over the primary to the main gear shaft with the gears. Yeah, that's how it works. It's not the wisest to have the clutch on the crankshaft, so it has to live through all the revs. Usually it is on the primary, as it is with the Vespa small rim. Whatever, it is like it is, we have to live with it. That was it, short comparison of PX old clutch. 7 spring, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the newer, younger COSA clutch, COSA 2. PGM super strong, similar, it has just a different inner part and a CNC basket. We have the 8 rivets here, and the springs are sitting nearer to the center, and the PX old clutch, they're sitting outside, a little bit more away, more distant from the center. This clutch is harder to pull. The COSA clutch is easier to pull. You can put in here 3 linings or 4. The COSA always has 4, but in the end, for the typical rotary valve SE24 box tunings, the PX old clutch is good enough. Just give the basket a ring. That was it. If you want to strengthen the COSA clutch, it needs a ring and welding points between these rivets, or 8 more rivets. Otherwise, this will break. It will cut off the rivets and it will come loose. That's where you see. Let's turn it around. The springs at the PX old clutch are sitting here, distant from the center, and these are the rivets. These are the welding points for the better connection, and the springs are sitting. And the springs next to each other. That's the PX old. This is the COSA. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, more info's coming up soon. Cheers. Have a good time. See you next time.
Bist du deppert? Ein Biest!
Sorry, ja.
Bist du deppert? Ist das ein Biest jetzt?